Hey guys, Mike here. So another day of the market, another big move for Tesla once again, another overnight pop up, but also you're starting to see what? Meme stocks popping up, right? And one stock in particular, which I haven't talked about in forever, I basically forgot about it. I'm sure you did too, but this is the definition of where we're at right now. Just shows you, right? I mean, you're seeing crypto, the miners going crazy, Bitcoin just keeps going. Every time I look at my phone, I'm like, holy cow, we're at what now? But that's where we're at in this squeezy squeeze mode, right? And I'll show you something Tesla did today. Shouldn't surprise any of us for sure. But also, I'll show you a sector that actually led today, which might really surprise you because it did me. And there's another sector we haven't seen lead in a long time, and in the sector that continues to drag right now because all the money is going into crypto and Tesla and these memes and all this other high flying stuff. And so we're going to look at that and notice something that's happening in the market, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And we thought we've seen crazy, but this right here, it lets you know that when this money does finally, these meme stocks and coins and everything else starts to take a break and get sold down for profit because they're so far up, this is where the money's going to flow, okay? Because it always happens. And before I forget about it, let me say happy Veterans Day to all my fellow veterans. Appreciate all your service and all you do, guys, all right? I hope you enjoyed the day. And when you look here, what I'm talking about, look at this. What's the worst one today? Soxel. Semiconductors just have not been good since the election. It has nothing to do with the president or anything else. Just the way the market is. But look at this. FinTech, man. FinTech leading the way today. I mean, if you saw, Upstart was actually down because it's already up like 49% in 2 days. But you saw PayPal, SoFi, Affirm, Lending Club, you name it, all going big green, right? And you see the others that are green right there. And when we go in here and take a deeper look at the sectors, what is not at all-time highs, right? FinTech, way off all-time highs. We know that they were just left for dead for such a long time, right? Travel, jets, that is, the airlines, some are doing great, some not. That's not at all-time highs yet. You're sitting there with transportations getting close to all-time highs. Consumer discretionary just set a new all-time high last week, now picking up where it left off. This is the stuff we do not need, okay? Then you're sitting here with your cruise stocks, your hotel stocks and everything, all-time highs. Financials just mooning. Cyber security, all-time highs. Small caps in this area, almost there right now, as you can see. Industrials, well, of course, all-time highs. Look over here, and this is not a sector, but this is the MAG 8 actually is what it is. Top 8 weighted stocks. Well, new all-time highs there. Communications going to the moon. Energy, not at all-time highs. Again, this is the all-time high was in April, so we'll see where this one goes. Home builders, not at all-time highs, coming down some right there. Now the 10 years going crazy. Utilities coming down. Now the 10 years going crazy, and stuff is rotating into the high flying stuff. Then you got consumer staples taking a break as well, not at all-time highs. You go over here to XLB right there, which is materials, not at all-time highs, taking a little breather right there. Was at all-time highs. Just the Vanguard real estate ETFs, which are very popular, not at all-time highs because why? 10-year goes crazy, hard to refinance, people aren't buying houses as much. Big tech, sitting there fixing the break to an all-time new high right there. XLV, again, money rotating out of this right here and going into the high flying stuff, as you can see right there. IBB, which is just biotech. This one right here, nowhere near all-time highs right here. A lot of people waiting for this to break out. You can see that consolidation phrase right there. And every time it consolidates, tends to either break down or up. We'll see which way it's going to go. And then you have SOX, nowhere near all-time highs since it broke down. Going back there in April, okay? So this has been lagging. That's what you want to look at when you're seeing all this stuff going crazy. Now, what else is happening? I told you meme stocks, GameStop. Look at this right here since the election. Up 23%. You look over here, you got Virgin Galactic right here, which, I mean, I ain't talked about this one forever and a day. Look at this thing. It's a mess. Still in stage 1. It's a mess. But today, up around 23%. And then the one I didn't think I'd ever talk about again. Art K, Kathy Woods. Look at this since the election. Boom. It looks like Tesla's chart on a much smaller time frame, right? I mean, 23%, right? But this one, more importantly, is doing what? Same way I'm going to show you another one. It's breaking out of stage 1. It's breaking out of a level it's been stuck at for over 2 years now. And so you're like, oh boy, that just sums up where the market is, right? All this money is pouring into these stocks that are just so beat down, so undervalued, you got so much more upside to them, whether, metrics, whether anything dictate that should be happening, That is what is happening. You can see it on the chart right there, right? Now, we'll see how much it continues. Obviously, it's going to have to hold, move this up. That could be a target at 72 right there. If it starts to break down, all of a sudden this euphoria starts to go away for these kind of stocks and money starts to flow out of it. Our profit take, going to have to hold that white line right there at 52.47. Look at Roblox. This is another one. I'm not calling it a meme stock or anything like that. Look at stage one. Been stuck in stage one for over 2 years. It looks just like ARK, right? And that all-time high anchor VWAP right there, rejection, I'll show you, but where's it heading to? The gap, between 58 and 66. That's where it's heading to right now. And again, this all-time high anchor VWAP finally ends up, as you can see right here, I mean, reject, and finally it breaks through and holds, right? And so, but then you're seeing there's plenty of stocks like this. You can put down in the comments if you know some yourself. Maybe you've been holding them. Finally starting to move out because money's starting to move into them. Whether the earnings or anything justify it don't matter at this point in time. That's just what they're doing. I'm just showing you. Now, Tesla, I mean, look at this. It's trading like a meme stock. It's not a meme stock. It's the options market just pushing this one to all-time craziness because look at this. Even Cheddarflow put out today, it actually broke Nvidia's all-time record for the most bullish premium in one day. And another statistic that'll blow your mind, it surpassed 1 billion plus in bullish call premium today, just today, versus 321 million bearish put premium. I mean, that is amazing. That's why it just goes and goes and goes. You think, oh, it's done, it's going to come back down. Nope. Right? As long as the option market keeps pushing it. And you may think, oh, this is too overbought, can't go any higher. If you look in the past, when the option market starts shoving this thing up, you can see the RSI has actually been a lot higher than this before. So it could still have room. I'm not saying it don't need a pullback. It definitely needs a pullback, but that's just the way it is right now. When you look at this today, like anytime, I thought for sure it was going to fill this gap when it started to sell down. The market started to sell down, but they came right in. And I can tell you right now, people are buying those January 400 calls. That's what they're buying, and just keep shoving it up, and they'll just sell it. And sometimes they're day trading, sometimes they're holding for multiple days. But with these big moves, it don't take much. Okay, when this stock is going up 7%, people are making a lot of money. Okay, now when you're looking at look at the next resistance, 364-ish, somewhere in there. Next resistance, we look at where it needs to hold, right up in here in the 0.79, around 334 needs to hold. If that breaks, of course, 316, somewhere in that area is where you're looking at. And so again, these are just levels to watch. And what's happening, as you see, you can't even really get a chance to get in because it's already in pre-market up, right? Overnight, it's going up. Right, they're pushing it up and pushing it up, and then of course you get in and it starts to sell off on you. And these options are highly volatile and they move very, very fast. So you can get your butt handed to you very quickly, or if you know what you're doing, you can make a whole lot of money in that. What I'm watching for on Tesla though is one particular strike, and it is that 400 level, right? And here's the GAM on it now, right? A little over 60 million. And I want to see what happens going forward the next 2 weeks. Does this continue to push up or not? That's what I want to know. If that continues to squeeze up, and that kind of lets me know, okay, that's what they're going to try to push this thing to. That's what we got to see. I know it sounds crazy, but let's be honest. Look at the last 5 days for crying out loud. And that leads me into what I call its stepbrother here, Nvidia, right? Because they can't go up at the same time, right? And when you look at Nvidia, and that leads me into its stepbrother here, which I call Nvidia because they can't go up at the same time, as you have noticed. And when you look at this one, they don't have earnings to the 20th. And so they can just keep pushing this thing down and down or whatever, or trading it sideways. But when you look at it, it hadn't really been doing anything, okay? And we're at this trend line. So the question is it going to come down this trend line, or you got horizontal support? You got a trend line support right there as well. And so until earnings, and just keep trying to pile into Tesla, because you know what usually happens, right? When profit taking starts in Tesla, where does it go? It starts heading to its stepbrother, Nvidia. And so it did bounce off this support, which was previous high right there. And that's really the bigger question, because when you look at it, like I said, I'm going to pull up Tesla on this. Let's look at the last 5 days on this. Isn't this crazy? Nvidia is up 5%, not bad. You think that's a good week, right? And there's Tesla, 40%. I mean, 40% in 5 trading days. Holy moly. But again, when profits taking starts happening on Tesla, we know where we're going. And when we look at these fibs right here, especially they report no good earnings, you can see we're rejected off that 1.5, 1.618 is right above it at 154. All right, down below, right on 141 for support. If that breaks, which pushes into trendline support as well, and into an important fib level. So just watch those levels out right there. I don't think this makes a big move until something goes on with Tesla. That don't mean Tesla has to come down. It just means they can start trading sideways, right? And bulls and bears start fighting it out while people sneak over and get into Nvidia if they really think the earnings is going to be really good, right? Shop, we talked about this on Thursday night's video. I told you it was going into that gap. Get ready for the explosion. Boom, there it is. Okay, so it went through the gap now. You can see right there that levels where it got rejected. This one has earnings coming up tomorrow. I'm going to move this line up right here. And you can see if they report a good quarter or the market likes what they hear, as you saw on an upstart or something, this can be a high flyer. And don't forget, oh boy, look at that. Way down. What did I just say? What are they trying to do? Push a lot of stocks up that are way down. Okay, I'm not saying it justifies to be at that price, anything like that. But if the market likes what they hear and it starts to push, look for between 103 to 110 right there before you hit any kind of real resistance on this thing, if that's the case. All right, it can also go higher, but just FYI on that, just to let you know what's happening. Again, if it comes down, then you're going to be looking somewhere in the $80 range, okay? Now, what's not happening here? Look at this. You're having the market go up. Look at Apple. Apple, the same, is still 7% off all-time highs right there. Its brother, Microsoft, right, which actually does have earnings growth right now, just over the last 8 trading days, down about 5. But when you look at where it does all-time highs, right, up at 466 right there, it's down around over 10%, right? And so when you look at that as another one, if these memes start to come out of favor, basically profit taking starts to take place on the memes and crypto and Tesla and all these others we talked about, right? If that happens, it's going to go into Microsoft, it's going to go into Apple, it's going to go into Nvidia, right? Why? Because look at this. Look at the weightings. This was crazy. The market's still going up when you got 2 of the heaviest weighted stocks not moving. And so that right there is an amazing thing to see. But we know there will be a rotation back into these larger stocks. It may not happen in the next few weeks, but it's going to happen. So when you start to see these other ones start to come down, and they will come down fast, especially the one with gamma squeezes, be looking at these stocks right here, okay? Be looking at the Nvidias. They're safe havens, okay? That's why they do this. If you look over here at the equal weighted ETFs, what's happening? They're coming up into resistance now, right? You got RSP coming up into this trend line right here where it's rejected multiple times. So we're either going to grind up against it, break out above it, or finally maybe start to come down on this right here on the equal weighted ETFs. You look over at QQW, same exact thing. It's coming into resistance. It's rejected twice now. So it's either going to do a breakout where we get a lot of breath pushing us up, which could happen, right? Or we start to either go sideways or down to 128.68, which is the previous all-time high. Now, when it comes to earnings, you're going to have a lot of high flyers here. Hut 8, Hive, those are your crypto miners right there, and then we'll end up with Cisco. Besides that, I don't really see too much else. A lot of high flyers in there if you want to see that. When it comes to data, don't really have to worry about anything in the morning. There's really nothing there. I mean, small business index comes out at like 6 a.m., but nothing that's going to harm us, okay, or really move the market. That don't happen until Wednesday, okay? So anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. Please hit the like, subscribe button if you did. Think about signing up for the membership. Let me know what you're doing down in the comments. I always appreciate it and always enjoy reading your feedback and stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow.